Hello, my friend. Hopefully you are doing great. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a file to store the data from your objects, and then how can we read the files from the system. Okay, it will be simple, and I want to introduce for you, share for you, and then in the real project, you can do yourself. So I don't want to create a new package here because I want to use the customer class from the lesson 23 here. So basically we will have customer as name and the ID. So I will create a new class with the name as data factory. So I mean that in this data factory, I will have two methods that how to save file and how to read the file. So I will create a public static save customer list here, and I will create another void. It should be something like boolean, because I want to return true or false after we save the customer list. So we just define the methods first, and then we will go deeply in the implementation later. So another function should be public static boolean. This is read the customer list. Okay. So here we will return an array of customer that we read from the system file, and here we will need the path and the array list. So let's do something like, let's try to comment this out first and then work on this one. So I will do something like I need an array list of the customer from lesson 23 as the customer list, and I need a string at the path where I need to save the file. So here I will do something like I will put something like the try catch. So you need to put try catch. It's very important because when you read when you work with the input and output system on any operating system, there will be some failure, and you need to use try catch to make sure that you can handle the exception correctly. Okay. So in the case here, you just need to put the exception 0 exception here, and then you can have something like that, like you have the exception like print the stock trace down, simple like that. And then here, if everything successfully, you will return true here. Okay. And then if there's something error here, it should come here, and we will return false here, right? So if we return true here, that means we will get out of this save customer list method. But if anything happens as an issue here in the catch block here, we will return false. So what will we do inside the try here? So in the try here, we to write something to our system, you need to use the file output stream, the file output stream here from java.io package here, and then you can see here. So you name it as file output stream here, or you can put it short like file output stream, something like that, but you can keep it at the default equal new file output stream, and you put the path where you want to save your file. Okay. Then you need to have something like the output stream writer. That means you will need a stream output. This is the path for you, and you have something like the output stream writer. Okay, so we will write something as a stream. It's not whole of the thing, but we need to write out as a stream here. So that's why we are using output stream writer here, and will be new output stream writer, and we need to put the parameter as the file output stream here, And as a best practice, you need to specify that should be UTF-8. Okay, so for example, your data have something related to the UTF-8. Here you will not face something like broken font or something like that. And finally, you will use the buffer writer to write the data. So buffer, it should be buffer writer. Where is it? Here, buffer writer here, and then equal. Let me name it as something like buffer writer. Buffer writer equal new buffer writer, and then I will put the output stream writer here as an parameter. Okay, so now I will look all of the customer list here from the parameter, and I try to save to the file system. So I use the for each look here from the customer with the name customer from the list customer here. Then what I do inside, I will get the light out. So I want to get the name and the ID, and then I can write out. Okay. So for example, here I want to customize something like the ID should be a string. Okay, it should be an integer. Just let's see. Okay, so we can define a string here, something like string like data like equal customer dot get the name, and then I will plus with a semicolon here, and then I will plus with customer dot get the ID here. So after that, I will do something like buffer writer here. I will do something like write the data light. After that, I will go to the new light, right? Because if I want to write the new data, we need to move the cursor to the new light. So that's why we need to use the buffer writer dot new light. And after that, we look all of the data from the customer list, and after that we need to close the buffer writer, close the output streamer writer, and the file output stream. If you don't do that, that means you still hold that file, and that means your application will be hung, and then you cannot do anything else. So it's very important to close all of the things. So now what we do, we will close the buffer writer dot close, and then we close the output stream writer here dot close, and the final one should be file output stream dot close. Enter here. So return true here. Everything looks good to me. So I want to test this out. So let's try to create a new class with the name test data factory. Enter. And then inside here, I will create a main method. The first thing I want to do that I want to create an array list of customer, and then I will take the save customer list here to see whether we can save the data to the system. Okay. So here in the main methods, I will declare an array list. It should be a list from a customer from the bucket 23 here. So it should be customer equal new array list here. And then now I want to create the first customer with the name customer1 equal new customer with the name, for example, William here, and the ID should be 111. Another customer should be customer2 with the name Micro, and with the ID something like 112 here. And after that, I will add the customer1 and customer2 to the customer list. So what I do, I will do customer.add the customer one, and then I will do the same thing for customer two here. So that means I have the list of customer here, and it's ready to save. But we need to declare the string. So for example, I want to declare something like I want to save the data to this path, okay, in my system. So I just copy string path equal this one, and I want to save it at the name, for example, data.txt. So if you are on the Windows, I think the path should be something like, maybe the D, and then we have two backslash here, and then you can put something like data.txt. It depends on your system. Maybe you don't have the drive D or something like that, but here is the format I think. So you can try yourself, okay? So what's next? I will call something like the this is test data factory. This is test, not test. So I want to refresh the name. Let me try to refresh the name first. So it should be test data factory here. And what I want to do that I will call the data factory, and then I will call the save customer list. I will put the customer list here and the path enter. Now this customer array list of customer. Okay, so I can try to put as a list here. This will be the same. It doesn't matter. So let me delete here. So we will put a list for customer as array list here, and then the path here, and let's run. So it will return true or false, right? So I want to know that it is true or false. So let's declare boolean is saved been successfully equal this one, and then I want to print this one out. So I will print something like is saving successfully. So if true, that means it is successfully. If false, it's not successfully, right? So like to we try to run this method. Sorry, just a moment. Okay, come. Okay, so now we run it, and you can see it's true. So that means we save the file successfully to the system. So if you try to open this one, you can see data.txt here. So you can open it. So let me try to cast the data.txt here, and you can see William 111 and Michael 112. So that means you have just saved the data successfully to your system. Okay. So now I want to read the data from the system, and I want to display how I can do that. So you can open the data factory here, and then what we will do in this method that reads the customer list. And as I told you before, I need a path. So that means we need the user provides for us something like the path to read the data where we read from. And then after that, I want to return not a boolean, but I will return a list of customer, right? So after I read the path, the data, and I will return a list of customer here. So I want to declare a list of array list a list of customer equal customer new array list here, and then after that I will return the customer list here. So inside will be the implementation, and as a best practice you need to put the try catch before doing anything else here. So I can have something exception, and inside can do something like exception dot print stock tray, and then I format the code here. So inside here It's very easy to remember. So here we have something like file output stream. So if you want to read the data, you have something like file input stream. Okay, so you see this output stream and this input stream. So if you want to save your time, you can copy all of them here. And then I will share you how to modify. So here is the file output stream here. So we will change it to file input stream. So you put the I here and you see input stream and you try to redeclare the name file input stream equal new file input stream here, and we will use the back. Another thing that output stream writer. So we have output and we have writer, so it should be something like input stream reader. Okay. Easy to remember, right? So input stream reader, input stream reader here equal input stream reader equal new input stream reader, and then you just copy the file input stream here, paste here, and you keep the UTF-8 here. The same thing. So you have the buffer writer, so probably you will have buffer reader, right? So you just rename this variable like the buffer reader equal new buffer reader, and then you put the input stream reader here as a parameter here inside. Very easy, right? So now we need to read the data, and then we will push to the customer list here before we return to the user, right? So the thing here is that the first thing we need to do is that we declare a string at the data line where we read from buffer reader dot read line, right? And then while the data line different null, that means we still have the data. Okay, so if it's not null, so what we do, we will get the data out. So I will declare the string like string customer name equal okay, I want to get an array first. So the string customer name equal data line dot split, because it will be a string, right? I will split something like the semicolon here, and then I will have an array. So I will get the first element from that array. It will be the customer name. You can see here, you see, if we split this line, and then we will have an array of two elements here, the name and the ID. So the first element will be have the index number 0, and that's why I get 0 here. Okay, and I will do the same thing for customer ID here, but now I will get the index 1. But because I'm doing something duplication here, so I will put something as a string as an array data, maybe customer data equal it should be an array of string, right? So string customer data equal data line split this semicolon, and then what I do, I will get the customer data here, and then I will get the first element, and then I will do the same thing. I get the customer data, and then I will get the second element. After that, what I do, I will do something like a customer here. I will add a new customer with the name is customer name and the ID is customer ID, right? But the customer ID here is a string, should be integer, sorry for that. And the customer here, okay. So this is the problem. So what we read from the system is now as a string, while I want to put the customer ID as an integer here. So this one will be, I will do something like, I will give the integer. You see the integer here from Java land here, integer dot parse integer, and then I will put the string customer data, and I will get the second one, this one. And then after that, the customer ID is now integer data, and then I will create a new customer inside, and then I add into the customer list. Okay, so after that, I want to move the data line here to the new line to read, right? So that it's very important. You don't need you don't want you don't want to forget this one, because if you don't move to the new line, you will get the same thing. Okay, data line, and then equal should be buffer reader here, buffer reader to the should be to the read line again. Okay, so that means you move to the new line. Okay, so this is data line, and then we move to the new line, and after that we close. Oh no, sorry, we should put it into the while loop here, and then after that I will close the buffer, the input, and the file. So buffer reader dot close, and then input stream reader dot close, and then a file input stream dot close. Done, right? So now I will go back to the test data factory here. So I want to read the path here, and then I want to display, right? So what I want to do that I will declare another list, customer list here, and I will say something like right customer equal new array list here, and then I will do something. Okay, I will assign directly the read customer will be the data factory dot read customer list from the path here, and I want to reassign the read customer here. So after that, I want to print out all the list from the customer, right? All the customer from the list. So I will do something like maybe the name, and then I will tag and the ID. After that, I will do something. I will do the for each here for the customer type with the name customer from the read customer, and then inside I will do something like system out. I will do something system out the customer dot get them, and then I want to do that plus one thing that tag, and then plus with customer dot get ID. Okay, I want to run it one and to see whether we can get the data from the file. Just run it. So you can see here we can get the list as name and the ID here, name, Julian, Michael, and the ID 111, 112. So I have just shared you how to write the data to the system and how to read the data from the system. But as a summary, I want to remind a little more. So this one, after you declare some instance for writing data, after that you need to close all of them. Okay, this is the first thing you need to remember. The second thing that you need to put all the logic into the try catch, because when you work with the system, there's a lot of problem around and you don't want to crash the whole application. Okay, right? So you put in the try catch. And the final thing that you can remember how to read the file very easy from how you write the file. So you have file output, so you will have file input stream, something like that here. You can see. Try to practice yourself and see you in the next tutorial. Probably we will have a small project to combine all of the knowledge that we have just learned from 24 lessons. So we will do something like the library management or customer management, just a small example. And then you can collect, you can revise all your knowledge from 24 lessons. So bye for now, and see you in the next tutorial.